When Soren Claire Barnett was 13 years old, they had a bat mitzvah at a synagogue in the suburbs of New Jersey. 5 years later, Soren had a bar mitzvah too. When I was 13, Soren told me, gender wasn't really on my mind. I was still identifying as a girl. I didn't even realize it was possible not to. So, while on a birthright trip in Israel at the age of 18, when leaders offered participants an opportunity to be called to the Torah as a bar or bat mitzvah, Soren jumped at the chance. Well, I was bat mitzvahed 5 years ago. Now I'll be bar mitzvahed, they said. Then it will even itself out, and I'll be the true gender-neutral dream. The revolution bat mitzvah girls sparked a century ago is entering a new phase as new conceptions of gender are stretching the Jewish coming-of-age ceremony once again. Gender-expansive kids like Soren are leading the way to creating gender-neutral coming-of-age ceremonies. What does it take to shake the gender out of a rite that traditionally marks a Jewish boy becoming a man or a Jewish girl becoming a woman? One major challenge is the gendered nature of Hebrew. Take, for instance, the fact that Hebrew doesn't have a word for child. One is either a daughter of the commandment, as in bat mitzvah, or son, as in bar mitzvah. What do you do if you feel like neither a boy nor a girl, or both, or neither? The Organization for LGBTQ Equality in Jewish Life, known as Keshet, has published a guide for creating a gender-neutral coming-of-age ceremony. Keshet suggests renaming the ceremony as b'mitzvah, which means in the mitzvah, on the mitzvah, or by the mitzvah, or b'nei mitzvah, which is the plural form of bar mitzvah, or they mitzvah, a riff on gender-neutral English pronouns, which also happens to rhyme with b'nei mitzvah. You know, aesthetics matter a lot at coming-of-age ceremonies and convey powerful messages about identity. At her 2019 bar mitzvah, Ruby Marks wore a blue suit and silver tie. Her talit had rainbow stripes and her idol Joan Jett on the back. For Ruby, who uses feminine pronouns but doesn't feel like a boy or a girl, it was important to have a ceremony free of gender references. As she said, Judaism is a big part of my family. We keep kosher, and my older sister had a bat mitzvah, so I knew I would have to have one too. But I didn't want to be called a girl, which is a traditional part of the ceremony, and I didn't want to have a bar mitzvah either. I wanted something in the middle. Ruby stood before her community at her bar mitzvah as her full self. As her rabbi, Claudia Kramen, told me, I think non-binary people are changing our expectations about everything. This is so radical for us, but for these kids, it's the most normal thing in the world. The truth is, all kinds of subtle messages are embedded in coming-of-age ceremonies. Consider something as seemingly trivial as gifts. Years ago, it seemed nearly every congregation gave Shabbat candlesticks to bat mitzvah girls and Kiddush cups to boys. This perpetuated the gender differentiation of roles in Jewish life. That's changing. When Leah Rachman passed down her hunter green Doc Martens with neon yellow shoelaces to her younger cousin Goldie as a bat mitzvah gift, she told her, our Docs represent a Jewish womanhood that's about more than creating a home with Shabbat candles or looking fancy and ladylike in pearls. These boots are made for stomping and the pursuit of justice that is the most Jewish of our values. In 1922, Judith Kaplan sparked a revolution in Jewish life. The mitzvah is the latest iteration in the long road toward making Jewish life accessible to all. Please add your story so that we can document the changing nature of Jewish coming-of-age rituals.